Today we're making some DIY decor gingerbread houses. Keep watching. I'm Brandy and this is Making It My Own DIYs. Welcome. I am going to be doing a DIY gingerbread house from a thrifted dollhouse. So I found this at the Goodwill bins where I love to frequent. It is a very nice wooden sturdy dollhouse. I can see this thing lasting 4 years. It's just, I love it. Do you know where this came from? There's no type of tag or anything on it. It is just a blank. From head to toe, inside and out, only wood. Look at all of this. Gorgeous! And of course, when I saw it, I knew what I wanted to do with it. Absolutely. Gingerbread theme is very trendy this year, so I thought, why not? And so we created a collaboration with a bunch of gorgeous ideas for you if you're interested in any type of decoration with gingerbread houses. All right, so now we've gotten a good tour around the house. I'm going to take this elastic band off of here. I'm going to take the door off. I'm going to give it a nice clean. I actually wiped it down first with a brush, and then I'm going to use a sanding block to get in all of the spaces. I never want to get splinters, and it just gives a nice, neat finish if you have everything nice and smooth. I'll go over everything on the inside. I'll do the outside. In narrow spaces, a little tip is to just use an emery board. You can get in between the windows, you can get in all those little tight spaces, and it works really well. You can get these little emery boards pretty much anywhere, and you can definitely get them at Dollar Tree. After you get done with all of your sanding, you need to be sure that you wipe it all down and get all the dust out. We're going to start with a nice clean and smooth surface. If you want to tape off your hinges, you can just grab some painter's tape, and I'm just quickly showing you what you can do here. I ended up removing mine and just going with it, getting the paint all over it and just almost disguising them. And you'll see that in the end. Okay, so you can use whatever brown paint that you feel like is close enough to a gingerbread color. I ended up using just the crafter's paint there in the brown. And I'm just using a kind of a medium-sized brush to put my first coat of paint all over this house. And actually, did I do 2 coats? I did do 2 coats. So the first coat I did with the brush, and then I went back in with the foam brush and touched up all the, streaky areas with the foam rather than this bristle brush. All right, the inside is going to be wicker white. Look at all of the goodies here. Now these are just things that I have collected. You can get these at Dollar Tree. This one happened to have come from Walmart. Little tinsel pieces or garland pieces, plastic candy canes. The candy canes and the little balls underneath, they all came from a garland I took apart. These I found at the thrift store, and they're like little ornaments that you would hang off of keychains, I think. I picked out the green, red, and white because I'm going to use those colors. These came from Temu. Look at this gorgeous little pack of gingerbread people. There are girls and boys, and they are all dressed really nicely. This I have had forever. I don't even know where it came from. It's just a little plastic bow. I've got some scrapbook papers here. This is the pad they came from. You can use any type that you like from anywhere that you like. If you want to use it like a wallpaper, which is what I'll be doing on the inside. I'm going to cut out a piece for a theme, and I like the crossed candy canes here, so we're going to use those. I'm just lining it up and slowly cutting on that line so that it has a nice trim. We want it to look as realistic as possible. Yes, I am cutting very, very slowly. Parts of this video are going to be sped up because there are 3 other people who are in the collaboration with me today. Rivy Sims, Simtastic Gamer, and Tales from an Empty Nest. We're all going to show you what we got for ideas for you for decorating in a gingerbread theme. All right, now we're going to put privacy curtains in the little house. It's going to be a little more texture, a little different texture. So we've got the wood house, we've got the paper that we're going to use for wallpaper, and some fabric that we're going to use for windows. Now, if you're just looking for a small piece of fabric, you can go to Dollar Tree and pick anything that you like. They do have some out now at my stores that are Christmas themed, so you can certainly do that. But I had these scraps of this red and white stripe, and I thought they would be great in a little gingerbread house. So we're going to make curtains. I'm going to fold it in half. And this will make 2 panels, and then I'll cut right up that seam. Right on the line. Alright, so now we have 2 panels. With hot glue, I'm going to run a bead right across the top of that window. And then I'll flip it over so the pretty side is outward, because we're going to have this door glued down and we're not going to see the inside. We're going to see the outside through the window. I'll add a little more glue and then put the second panel down. Now, if you prefer one solid piece, you can certainly do that, but I want my house to be like a peekaboo house, so you can actually see inside, and it's going to have lights and all kinds of fun stuff going on inside, so be sure that you stay tuned so you can see it. Alright, so we're going to use just some thin ribbon to tie back our curtains. You could use baker's twine for this, you could use wire for this, or if you don't want to use anything, you don't have to pull your curtains back at all, you can just leave them down. So if you don't have, if you just don't have the time or the things to make, a little house on the inside to make it where it looks like a little home, then you don't have to do this. Just keep your windows closed and you can see right through the fabric. So when you put your little lights in there, you'll still be able to see that the house is lit. Just do what you can with what you have, right? Alright, so I just twisted the knot to the back and trimmed it off. And then I will do the same thing on the other side. Tie that off, same way. And a double knot's going to work best here so that it doesn't slip, because it's such a tiny little tie. Now, look at these precious little curtains. Isn't that just the cutest thing ever? Oh my gosh, y'all. That is so cute. Then I'm going to just run some glue on the bottom and glue those down, so they look like the weight is kind of pulling them down. Otherwise, they'll just kind of be flappy and it doesn't give a very, well, I'll say realistic, you know what I mean. More like how our actual homes are. Curtains hang straight down in our normal home. You see the difference that makes? How cute! Alright, time for some wallpapering. So I only used 1 coat of that white paint on the inside because I knew pretty much I was going to be using other things on the inside. I looked at the bottom of the house, the surface that I would need, and I just kind of trimmed off that area that we were not going to need there. And then using my hands, not doing any special measurements, I'm going to push this paper in to figure out how much we're going to need on that back wall. It has a slant where the supports are for the next little floor. So I'm just using my fingers to push it up against and crease it against those slanted pieces right where my fingers are, against the side of the house, and I'm just using a fingernail to run down there. This is going to make a nice little crease where I need to cut, and my cuts should be almost perfect. You can see where the indentions are on the paper, and so that's what I'm going to do for this. Don't be intimidated by using, papers and things in your gingerbread houses, because there are easy ways to do it. There really are. I love this texture, or the design, I guess I would say, on this house. Look how cute. Look how cute, and it fits great. So I'm just going to take it out. I've already checked it, and I'm going to use some Mod Podge. Put that all over the bottom. Now I'm just using a regular gloss Mod Podge. If you want to use matte, you can, but I find that if you use a gloss, it's going to really make the lights bounce around and make it look very cute, I think. So I'll just give it a coat all over the bottom and any place that this paper is going to go. And then I can lay the paper down in there and push it down. And then use my squeegee and push it outward and make sure that everything is all in place. I do go back over mine and seal it by putting another piece in there, by putting another layer in there rather. Okay, so same process over here on the side walls. I'm just going to put the slip of paper in there once I get the measurement from the second floor to the bottom of the first floor. Use my fingernail to go through there, and I actually cut the paper with my fingernail, getting my measurements, so that didn't hurt anything. Got a little work done for me, didn't I? Then I'll just measure the other side against that piece and cut that out. You know you can do this, right? I know you're looking at this going, I can do that. I can do that. I've got some cute scrapbook paper. I've got some, you can even use wrapping paper, y'all. You could use a napkin. Think about what you have that you could use as wallpaper. That would be super cute and unique in your gingerbread home. And the thing is, this is imaginary, right? This is magical and fun. There's no really wrong way to decorate a gingerbread house, as long as it's festive and fun and sweet, and I don't know. There's so many different ways you can do it. And what you'll be seeing today is just 4 different options in our collaborations of ways that you can decorate inside and outside of your gingerbread house. I know y'all are going to love this collaboration. Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'll just go ahead and put that piece in that we pre-measured, save myself some time. Yes, I need to have my roots done, y'all. I sure do. And I'm pressing it down. I found that I could actually use the brush rather than having to use the squeegee here, because this Mod Podge brush is really good, and you can press it down nice and flat. So now we're going to put our flooring down. I chose this beautiful green art pattern to go on the bottom. And you're going to be using the same type of technique. I've already trimmed it out, you glue it down. Then I had some doilies. These are very old. These came from a very old pack. And then I have some newer doilies, the smaller ones that actually came, I believe, from Dollar Tree. So we're going to put a very cute little rug down here on their floor using these doilies. Got a lot of Mod Podge on there. It's sticking down to it, and then I'm going to hold it in place while I add some more Mod Podge to just lock that all in there. Doilies are kind of fragile around the edges, especially these older ones, because they're very intricately cut. So just be careful when you're putting your pieces together. Now I'm going to layer the smaller one right on top. I don't know if y'all are aware, but it happens to be Subscriber Appreciation Month on my channel. So we have a magic word today, and the magic word is gingerbread. When you write in the comments gingerbread, I also want you to tell me what your favorite Christmas candy is. Do you like ribbon candy? Do you like butterscotch? Do you like peppermint? Are you a chocolates kind of girl? What, or guy? What do you like best? So gingerbread is the magic word, and then I need you to tell me what your favorite Christmas candy is. All right, so I put little beads on the door to use as doorknobs. Check it out. Love it. So here's the collaboration I was telling you about. You're going to find a playlist linked in my description box, and I want you to go and watch the rest of these ladies as they create some wonderful ideas for you to use so that you can be inspired to jump on this trend this year. Okay, so for the upstairs windows, I'm not going to do anything on the upper layers as far as decorating. I'm just going to focus in that downward section, the first floor, rather. And so I'm just going to put these curtains on here, and you can do glue on the bottom and on the top of each one of these, just to keep everything in place so it doesn't flop around. And like I said, unless you're using some type of a felt, you're still going to be able to see through your curtains, and it just gives a really pretty look. I decided on the bottom floor that, you know, to make this like a peekaboo house, that we needed to use the same type of 2-panel curtains on these windows right here, so that when we look through the windows, we can see what's going on in the other section that is wallpapered, and we're going to make that very cute and festive. So the curtains, we're going to do the same way that we did the ones on the door. We're going to put those little fabric pieces where the pretty side is toward the outside of the house, so the pretty side is down. Y'all could actually even use, for curtains, you could use like a wide ribbon. Wouldn't that be cute? And that would already be pre-cut for you. So something for my project here, maybe a 1-inch ribbon and use one for each panel maybe, perhaps. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Very easy. I'm going to cut my little 4 pieces of ribbon, and we're going to tie back our curtains the exact same way that we did before. Double knots, and then we can secure the bottom of the curtain down to the wall. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, give me a thumbs up. It really helps me to know that I'm doing a good thing here, that I am giving my viewers what they want to see and what they need to see. And it gives YouTube an idea that, hey, my videos are pretty good. Maybe I should show them to more people. So the algorithm likes those thumbs up and the comment section. Lots of comments. I love to talk to you, even if you don't want to participate in the giveaway, which, by the way, I suggest you do. You don't want to miss out. It's always great to talk and say hi. I love to meet new people, so if you're new and you'd like to introduce yourself, you go right ahead and do that. I would love to welcome you to the channel. So this is easy, right? This is so easy. And I see that my little tie downs right here are not evenly spaced, so I'll fix that. And this is what it's going to look like from the outside. You can trim out your windows with brown on the inside if you would like. Totally up to you. So let's go back to the room here that we're really featuring in this house and get the wallpaper trim in here. I'm going to just crease it with my fingers right on the end, as I did before. Then I can easily pull that out, trim it off, add some Mod Podge on there, and then lay that piece of trim right in that spot. Oh, there's something so satisfying about getting a good cut and getting things just fit together like that. Don't y'all love that? All right, it's time for a Christmas tree. We need to make it more festive. These are gingerbread people, and they really like to have their sparkle and shine, so let's wrap this little tinsel garland all the way around the tree. Thank you, by the way, to all of y'all who told me that this is actually, well, it was kind of a split thing. Some people said, no, it's not tinsel. Tinsel is the icicle things. And some people say that it is a tinsel garland. So, we're going to just wrap that around the tree. I've got some of these little, they look like little candy pieces, but I got them at the thrift store. You can certainly get things like this, something similar to it at the Dollar Tree, I am sure. They're just little miniatures. They look like little wrapped candies, and they're kind of see-through like that. So I'm going to add those on the tree and give it a little glitz and glamour here. All over. If you don't have these types of things, you can use little buttons. You can use wood rounds. You can use beads. You know, you can paint beads. You can do that. Or you can actually use like one of those Mardi Gras beaded necklaces and use that to wrap around the tree, and that'll really make it easy. Okay, now that little bow that I had, I'm going to put right on the top. I didn't have a star that would fit in with the theme, so I thought the bow would be really cute. And it doesn't hurt that it's red either, right, for Christmas? So I'm just going to elevate this a little bit by putting it on a little round that I had here that is white. And that's going to just lift it up a little bit more. We're going to put some of this beautiful green paper down on the floor in the room across, because this is going to, when it is closed, this appears to be one big room. So we want to have something consistent running through it. I am not bothered by the fact that I cut it just a bit too short. In fact, I think I put the wrong one down. I think the bigger piece over there was the one I was supposed to put, but you know. Keep in mind the pattern here that looks like it's backwards, but once the house is closed, it's all facing the same direction. So our rug is dry in there. We are going to go ahead and continue along on a dried floor and glue this right down in the corner. I'm putting this in the corner because when we put the lights on it, I'll be able to kind of disguise where they start and stop. So this is my daughter's little wooden house that she had painted. Pouch, excuse me. She had painted yellow and some, she's painted it in a couple layers, a couple of different times. But she let me use it for this project because it fit beautifully in the house. And I decided to use some Adirondack white paint on there. It's just chalk paint because one layer will cover up all the stuff underneath. And I'm going to make this look a little bit sweeter by folding one of the smaller doilies in half, so that it looks like the back of our couch is kind of rounded. So now we have changed it from like that modern look, that 50s look, and we have changed it to make it look something more like it would be in Santa's house or in Little Gingerbread house. Very cute and sweet. Did the same thing on the seat that I did on the top. And then I'm going to use some of these lifesavers as pillows in the corner. Look at that, y'all. Now, these little packages I got, I think last year at Hobby Lobby on clearance. And I'm just going to, they were in a bag, like 5 of them, 5 or 6. I'm going to add those all around the Christmas tree. Because got to have your gifts, right? And see, I can put them at different directions. Now I've got some really tiny mini ornaments. I'm going to put Nutcracker in here. I have a little angel with a trumpet that says joy, and I'll put her in the back. Ooh, now we get to decorate the outside. Okay, so these are just wood rounds that I painted, the larger ones red and the smaller ones white. Lift that out. Y'all probably don't need to see that. This is a long enough video, right? I'm going to alternate the sizes. These look like little candies to me, right? And that's the idea with gingerbread, kind of giving it like that little candy look. If you're the kind of person who prefers to freehand with like white puffy paint, you can definitely do that instead. But for me, I just don't trust those type of skills in myself as much. So I'm going to just use embellishments as much as I can to decorate this house. So we're going to give the same little triangle shape that we did in the front to the back. We're just going to go flat across the front windows. Now there's a little place here that is almost like a little porched area, I guess. And I'm just going to fill that in to make it look like an elevated flower bed. And we're going to add some pretty stuff to it. So I'm just going to use my metal ruler to cut off a scrap foam. And I'll add it in pieces until I get it as long as it needs to be. But if you have a piece that fits yours and you happen to have a house like this, you can certainly do it that way. Or you can use it as a porch. Now to keep these together, I'm using a floral pick just to push all the way through, and I'll bend it on the end. That's going to keep all those pieces together. I didn't have to glue it down because it was a tight fit to go there anyway. I'm going to add some of these little chunky candy canes. Like I said, these came from a garland along with those red and white balls that are in there, and also with the little, look like lifesavers. They were all on one garland that I found at the thrift store, and I just took it apart because it is perfect for this. And I'm going to add it to the sides so we greet our guests as they come in the door. Now the door's actually glued shut because we're not going to open this. We don't want it to function that way. We want you to be able to look through it, but not open it. In the pretend world, you would open it though. Alright, so I'm just laying down a pattern, and again, another one of those satisfying things is when it all comes out exactly as you like it. And they all fit perfectly across here, and I just love that. I didn't have to cut anything, and I'm glad because these are hollow on the inside. So if you don't have these little candies like this, you can either make something similar to this with foam clay, or you can use buttons, or you can use your imagination. Just use your imagination. You could also use wood rounds for these. Little gingerbread cookie minis if you have them. You could do that. So I got that line straight, and I just used my ruler to help me get my line nice and straight. And I'm going to do right across the middle of this little area too. Use the same pattern. Again, it fit perfectly. Yes. So the white tree is going to go outside because maybe it's already been snowed on. I pulled it off of its base and then bent it up, of course, and then straightened it back out. I pushed it straight down in there. Y'all, these things bend. They're on a thin wire, they're going to bend, but you can fix it. There's nothing to get stressed out about. Nothing to throw it away for, right? I added the little snowman there, and I'm going to add a bunch of these little mini trees that came in a bag at Dollar Tree. Look sort of like little evergreen shrubbery. And I'll add one of those little trees to each side of the candy cane or the porch opening there. Just going to add it and then hold it in place. You're not seeing me hold it in place as long as I actually do because I'm cutting that out so you don't have to be bored. Then I'm going to take some of this beautiful garland and go all the way around. Y'all, I got this thin garland by pulling apart a Dollar Tree Christmas ornament from last year. So if you see one of those little garland looking shiny, very busy ornaments at Dollar Tree, maybe you don't like it, but maybe you could use the garland off of it for something. And most of them have more than one color. So if you need some brown garland, the gingerbread man there right now has brown, red, and white. Plus 2 little beads or buttons on the front. So you could take that stuff apart and use it for something, right? Yes, indeed. There's a lot of stuff for $1.25. Yep, think outside the box. I'm going to use buttons to put down on here after I've got my windows traced out. And this is sort of an iridescent looking color, I think. I'm going to add a little hot glue and then these little brown stars that are actually beads. I take bracelets apart when I find them at the bins. I take necklaces apart. I find little bits and bobs that are all by themselves. And if it's interesting, I bring it home. So now we're going to look at the sheet that we're going to put on top of the house. Now this is a snow sheet, like a little ground cover snow sheet. Y'all know what this stuff is. That's what I'm going to use on the top of the house to give it that snowy appearance. If you don't have this or want to use this, you could have just painted your roof white instead. So I'm measuring how much I'm going to need, and I'm going to do each side one at a time. This looks harder than it actually is, just so you know. It's not as difficult as it looks. I'm going to lay it down, giving myself a little bit more than I actually need. Press it down. Then I'll mark around where the handles are in the house. I like the handles. I like to be able to move it by the handles. So I decided to leave them on rather than cutting them off of my house. I'm just feeling where it's at and cutting around the shapes. And then the little flaps can be tucked under or around. I'll cut where the handles go in and then push around the back. And then everything will be covered. I'm going to use hot glue to put this down, but you could definitely use a thick Mod Podge to put yours in place. But just because it's quicker so I could get the video out for you, I went ahead and used the hot glue to do it. Protect your fingers. So now you can see how it looks, and I've done the same thing all around the window eaves there. Everything's nice. I've got that opening here. And then I'm going to go to the other side and I'll do the same thing. I'm going to trim off some areas, add some hot glue, fold it under, and trim it off. I'm almost like cupping it down over the top of the window so that, you know, it looks like the snow has went over the edge. Now this is a cobblestone type product that I want to use to make it look like my chimneys are bricked or have stone on them. I've just trimmed this down to make it look like the sides of the handles are actually chimney tops. Then I'll cut the slants also and put those down. And this will look like it is our little stone chimney. I love it, and I'm glad I did it. But you could certainly just paint these black or whatever you want to do. So, in this big section over here that has no windows, I thought, let's go ahead and just add that piece of paper we had left that I cut the trim out for the inside of the house. Saved myself a little. I'm going to cover up the white trim, just a little more festivity on the inside. And by all means, if you want to decorate every floor of your house, you can certainly do that. This video is just for inspiration, right? Now I've gone over the top here where the chimneys are just to black them out because, you know, it just looks a little more realistic when the chimney is open like that. And I'm going to make a little floor mat. This is going to be a welcome mat to go right outside of our front door. So I'm trimming this down and it was kind of crooked, and it was really not the right size that I needed for this tiny front door area. So I'm trimming it down, and then I'm going to double it up with this one on top. So the same piece of paper we used for wallpaper and the same that we used for the flooring. Look how cute that looks together. Oh my gosh, what a welcome mat. So then you can use Mod Podge here, or I'm just going to smear around a little hot glue to put it on the bottom. It's going to butt right up to the door. And then if you have anything hanging over, you can just get your emery board and just, you know, flick away the excess. Look how cute so far. Love it. Love it. And this is the way it looks on the back. So far, so good, I think. I'm happy with it. Yes. So right down here, we're still looking at foam. I'm just going to pull these in sections and kind of shred it up a little bit in my hands and tuck it all around the trees and the snowman that are on the bottom so that it is covered in snow as well. I'm using the end of a paintbrush just to kind of tuck it around the bottoms of the trees. I don't even glue this down. Everything stays right in place on that rough foam. Cute. I can deal with that. Now, y'all, I have had this one strand of icicles that I thrifted forever. I have used it in projects you have seen on my channel before, and I'm using them again. Look at them. They are so pretty. But you can make your own with a little bit of hot glue and a silicone mat. You know, just make some squigglies and let them dry. But these fit very nicely on the house. They have like a little indentation right at the top of the icicle. So when you put the glue on it, you can hold it without it slipping right in place. And it grabs onto that, the snowy stuff there. Look how nice it stays. Now, some of them are a little bit crooked. That's because I was in a rush, but you know, you get the idea. Make yours straight for sure. Now I'm going to go over the line where I added all of my icicles, and I'm going to add some hot glue. This is going to do two things. It's going to give it more of a look like it is one piece, like the rain has dripped off, the snow has melted and dripped off, and it's all one continuous piece. And it is also going to help secure those icicles in place in case you have people who like to touch your projects and, you know what I mean. Little fingers, little busy fingers. So this is a piece that I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance last year. I got 3 of them. Haven't used them yet, so I decided to use those for the little beads to go inside each of the lifesavers. So now they look like little cakes or little festive puddings. And I just put one in each one. Same colors, red, white, and green. Now I'm taking my slick paint and I'm going to add just some little dots on here. On the top of the line, on the bottom of the line, you can trace anything out. I've made dots on the window trim and on the bottom. And we're also going to work on the door a little bit. You can also use like a puff paint here if you would like. But when I go thrifting, I don't look, you know, I'm not going to just pass up on something. I'll make it work. I will make it work. I'm going to go down these little side walls here with a little bit of trim too. Think of all the different patterns you can use if you decide to do painting or using paint pens instead. You could do swirls or hearts or lines. Go to Pinterest if you need more inspiration. Look at what they're doing on their gingerbread houses to get you some inspiration of what you can do. And I plan on doing another gingerbread house later that's going to be on a smaller scale, and it's going to have pastels in it. So yeah, I'm excited about that one too. So you can use this like a frosting and just, like I said, add stuff wherever you like. I put that squiggly line on there, but I really don't like it. And I removed it fairly quickly after getting this door done. You can see I used a rubber spatula and just took that paint off because I decided I didn't like that. I just didn't like it. I wanted a little something else. So I'm going to go in with some red garland off the same Dollar Tree piece I picked up last year. And I'm going to pull that red garland off and stick it right down on here. I'm going to use my hot glue to just make a little line up here. Carefully to not smear up my dots I just put down. And I like the look of that. We got a lot of texture going on in here, and I think that's what makes them so interesting. There's so much for your eye to see. Now, when I got these gingerbread people, they're like little, they have little hanger things on the top. Well, I don't need that. So I'm going to cut those little hangers off to make these little gingerbread people look a little bit more like, you know, people in a scene, freestanding. So I got these lights at Temu. I think they came in a 10-pack. I like them very much. They have 3 different settings. They are tiny. The box is tiny, so they're easy to hide in your projects. Also, the cork lights are fairly easy to hide also if you're looking for something smaller than one of those big battery packs, you know. So I'm going to add some to the top, floor and some to the bottom floor. Y'all look at my roots. I'm trying to grow out my gray, so, you know, it is what it is. But you can certainly see them. Look at them. I've got several months of growth there, and they are just making their presence known. All right, so what I'm doing that you can't see is wrapping around the Christmas tree first, and then I'm going to feed the wire all around that room until I find a stopping point. Now, I'm going to surprise y'all with what I do with the gingerbread people, so you're not going to see that. And the lighting, of course. I'm going to take some salt and some artificial snow. I'm going to mix these together so we get a mixture of like a sleet and snowy, icy, glistening coverage. And we're going to ice the top of our house, right? We gotta do it. We gotta put snow on there. We gotta look nice and snowy. So I've got my little mixture ready. I've got my spray Mod Podge and some regular Mod Podge. I'm gonna go outside. Now I'm gonna give this a few bursts with that Mod Podge spray, and then I'll sprinkle on, then I'll add a little more. I'm trying to lock this in. It will grab onto that sheeting, so that is one good benefit of that. I'm gonna, and this is a mess. This is why, first of all, when you use aerosols, you need to be outside. But it's just a mess. I didn't even clean it up. Y'all left it down there. I'm sure my kids think it snowed during the night. I'm gonna just add it and sprinkle it, add a little more, sprinkle it, till I get the entire top of the house done, and also down there in the little section where our snowman is, because you know snow got there too. Any areas that are in the open where you would normally get snow is where I put it. I didn't put any up against the house wall in the front or the back, but I will be doing the sides. Alright, so I'm going to take my outdoor Mod Podge, or this may be the dishwasher Mod Podge. It's very thick, and that's why I chose it. I'm going to put it on thickly, and then I'm going to add my scraped up snow off the ground all over the sides. Y'all look. Oh my goodness, I could not be more pleased with this house. This is going to be front and center in my house. Definitely going to be putting it out to display so that my kids can see it and my grandbaby can see it. I think my grandbaby is going to be goo goo gaga right over this. I hope he does. I know his mom is watching this, so I do hope that the other ladies in this collaboration have enjoyed this. You're going to love what they're doing. So when you're done with this video, like I said, go down to my description box and click the link so you can see what everybody else has made before you start making your own house, because you know you want to have everything together so you don't have to stop and start over again, right? You're going to get all the inspiration you need in this one collaboration. So this is how this is going to look on the outside. Look what I did on the top floor. I added 2 little gingerbread people in there peeking out the windows. Look. Look, I added a baby on the couch. I've got the little people standing in there. I've got people standing in the front. Now, you're not going to see those blocks in the back because you're looking straight through. And I'll give you a peek at that in a moment. Now, I've turned the lights on and my studio lights are still on. So you can see that little warm glow. Look. Oh my gosh. This is why I'm calling this my peekaboo house. That is too cute. I don't care who you are. That's cute, y'all. Don't you think that's cute? I love this. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with taking pride in your work. If you do something and you're happy with it, girl, let your joy show. That's why we do this, right? That's right. We're going to bring some joy into our homes, for our family and our friends, and for ourselves. Oh my goodness. I am totally obsessed with how this turned out. If you have enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. We also have channel memberships. Hit the little bell on the side to make sure you don't miss notifications at all. And again, I would love a thumbs up to tell me if you enjoyed this video. I made a little light and put in the corner. Have no idea where the footage is. I also put a painting on the wall, which is just a piece of scrapbook paper that I cut to make it look like a sign. Here we are with the lights off. Look at that sweet warm glow. How cute would this be sitting underneath the Christmas tree or on a table nearby? I love this. And think when the Christmas elf comes of all the ideas of things that he might want to do around this house. So cute. As always, I appreciate you all. I thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this collaboration. The support means the world to every one of us. I'll see you again soon. Bye.